What's up everyone? Today we're doing a little experiment. If like me you're someone who's interested in restoring and modifying older cars, this is definitely something you will have come across. But even sometimes on newer stuff as well really. The problem sort of lies with cast aluminium, and I've found that with the road salt and the combination of oil leaks and other sort of substances that flick up from the road, the aluminium becomes very dirty and stained, and it's very difficult to clean. So I've found a product to try, and I'm hoping it's going to take another step out, which is something that I've been doing in the past. In the past I've spent a lot of time wire wheeling and sort of using different detergents and degreasers and other products to try and really make something look fresh. Another method is, of course, vapor blasting, which isn't always feasible because you might not always want to completely strip everything down, have it blasted and rebuild. So in this case I don't actually want to, because I know this box is good, and I'm going to be using this E36ZF gearbox to mount an S54 engine. So if you're not familiar with BMWs, that's an E46 M3 engine into an E30. It's something I'm pretty excited for. It should be pretty fun. But when I put everything back together, I want it to be nice and just to look fresh. The main reason for doing this really is that obviously aesthetically it looks very nice, but it's also much easier to find leaks and find problems with things when everything's clean and you've removed all the sort of previous signs of leakage from other engines or elsewhere on the car. So I think we'll jump into it and try out this Frost Alley Clean. It's something that I've bought myself, so if it's not good, I'll tell you it's not good. Let's give it a go. Reading the instructions, it says to spray it onto the area and work it with a stiff nylon brush. So we'll try that first. Then you have to allow a few minutes and wash it off with water. So we'll try that. It does state that heavily soiled and corroded areas will need a few applications, and if it's correctly used it will not affect any paintwork, which is not a concern at the moment. So let's just give it a try. It states that it's for aluminium castings, which is why I chose this product, because I couldn't find anything else that ticked those boxes. We'll jump into a bit of a time lapse I think, and we'll just give it a go. So after repeating the process of spraying this cleaner on and agitating it with a hard bristled brush, it's certainly done a far better job than anything else I've used in the past. I'm not going to name anything, but I've tried multiple brands and different combinations of cleaners and degreasers, and nothing really has had this sort of effect. At this stage, I'm very impressed with it because although it did take a little bit of time, I chose to start with this one because it was the most heavily contaminated box that I had. E36s are known for leaking oil, and I think a combination of that and the fact that the exhaust is routed by one side of it, some of it was really baked on, and there was a lot of road salt and grime and different sort of levels of contamination spread all over the place. And I'll do some clips around this because it's fairly uniform and fairly clean all the way around. I think there are various set of circumstances that you might want to use this product. First of all, as I mentioned at the start, you may be sort of rebuilding a car and you've got something that is very clean, and you know that it's mechanically sound, so you don't want to strip it down and have everything blasted or painted. That's quite a key factor. More importantly, you may own something fairly exotic or rare. Gearbox spares may not be available, and the costs may be astronomical. But what you may want to achieve is a nice clean result, and just as I mentioned, more importantly, you're going to know if anything leaks when everything is clean to this level. So it's not giving you that effect of sort of a freshly painted casing or one that's been vapor blasted, but what it does do is gives a pretty OEM sort of standard look. So I'm very happy with that, and there's one more thing that I want to try. So there are a few stickers and things on this, and it hasn't damaged any of them, but something else that says on the bottle is that it doesn't damage paintwork. So the key factor of that is going to be if you can use it whilst an engine is in a car or the gearbox is in a car, without fear of damaging your paintwork. So I'm going to do a bit of a test and spray some on a panel and see if leaving it for a sort of extended period of time does anything to the paint. So as you can see, this is a wing from an E46 M3, and I'm going to spray it on and leave it for about 30 minutes, which is way longer than what's advised for using on metalwork. So we'll certainly see if anything is damaged. Obviously, if you were to get this on your paintwork, you'd more than likely rinse it off straight away, but we'll do a bit of an experiment. After 30 minutes, there's no visible signs of paint damage. In fact, nothing at all. I will rinse it off just to double check, but as you can see, it's looking good. It's very important you wear gloves and goggles when you're using this. It does state on the bottle, but after smelling it, it's definitely not something you want to get on your skin or in your eyes. So definitely follow the recommendations on the bottle. As I stated previously, this is an independent test. I bought this myself because I'd had no luck with anything else on the market, and I am happy with the results. I've proved that it doesn't damage paint. If so, it is something you could use in the car if you're looking to just sort of clean up your engine bay and sort of get rid of any evidence of prior oil leaks. Even just to find a new one, it's going to be helpful. So I recommend this to people who are restoring cars, definitely. Even just if you're looking at doing an engine conversion on something newer, it's always good to get back to this sort of state, and then you're going to know if there's any problems in the future. As I said, if you're looking for a concourse restoration, there's no solution other than to completely strip everything down, replace all the bolts, everything necessary with the correct ones, and you're not going to get that sort of immaculate brand new result from anything. Aluminium is prone to oxidization, and this is raw cast aluminium, so you're going to get that, especially with 20, 30, 40 plus years old engines, gearboxes. That's just what happens. So even if it is something of a high value, if you're looking for a car to drive, I think this is the best method to use. So I will be restocking it, definitely. It's something I'll use in the future because I've got a few other engines and a few boxes and diffs to do. So if anyone has any other recommendations for different products regarding sort of restoration and restoring different materials, I'm open to try things because I've got a whole bunch of projects where I've got an E30 and another car to restore. So I'm open to suggestions. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again.